Hello and welcome to this video about pandas for data handling. We're excited to have you here, and in this video we are going to talk about data preparations with pandas. In this video we will talk about how to edit the names of DataFrame columns, indexes and index labels. This is a fundamental pandas skill that brings time-saving qualities to the data handling process, necessary artistic qualities to any data analysis output, and increases the ability to interpret any output from your data analysis work. In this video, you will learn how to edit column names, indexes, and index labels. When we receive a new dataset or a new data frame, we will usually have column names which are encoded or perhaps even encrypted, or to be interpreted by computers rather than having an intuitive name describing the content of the column variable. Such codes can stem from database storage names, or they could be artifacts of program code, and it could be numbers and characters seemingly unrelated to the data content of the column. And in order to improve the output of our analysis and to use the data for human purposes, we must be able to change the existing column names or row index labels to more useful names which we can understand and show in tables or graphs to audiences of people who will have some benefit from the analysis. And in the PowerPoint on your screen, we have an example of how database column names can be labeled before being edited. As it appears, the database names can be quite confusing without a manual describing them and the corresponding data items. So now you will learn how to change column names, index names, and row index labels. So start up your code editors because we're going to type some code. All right, having started our Jupyter Labs notebooks, we will type some code. And we will begin with creating a car sales data frame prepared with naming errors, which we will correct. And in this process, learn to edit column, index, and index label names. And we will begin by importing pandas as PD. And we'll create a car data dictionary. With Mercedes. Ford. Tata. Renault. And we create our car sales data frame using Pandas constructor. And the car data dictionary. And we will rename the index. into sales place. So here we have the first of our renaming options, where we simply rename the index into sales place. And we will rename our index labels using a dictionary. The integer 0 is set to 1. The integer 1 is set to 2. 2 is set to 3. 3 is set to 4. 4 is set to 5. And 5 is set to 6. And we set the in place to true. Like this. And we'll print our call sales data frame to make sure that it has been created properly. Let's make a little change. And let's run this code. And here we can see that we have a car sales data frame with some errors. Whether Tata should be Tatra or Tata, we don't really know. And 5R is erroneously spelled. And the first thing we will do is that we will print column names and index labels. We type print car sales columns and we print car sales index. So let's run this code. And here we can see that the columns are Mercedes, Ford, Tata, Renault. And we can see that the index labels are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, R, 6. And the index name is sales place. So now we have control over the objects which we will manipulate. And here we can say that we have the data frame printed, and as we can see the Tatra name is misspelled to Tata, and we have a special sales place numbered for among the index labels. And the first thing we will do is that we will rename a misspelled column name. And we have several methods for renaming our columns. And the first thing we will do is that we will use, or rather reuse, the rename function. We type car sales, rename, columns equals data, data, in place equals true. And we print our car sales data frame. So let's run this code. And here we can see that Tata has been renamed to Tatra. And we will show another method for renaming a column name. So we type car sales, columns, equals, car sales, columns, ring, replace, Tatra with Tatra. And we can print our car sales data frame. So let's run this code. And here we can see that the column Tatra has been renamed into Tatra. And we can also assign new labels to our car sales columns. We can type car sales columns equals a list with Mercedes, Ford, Tata, and Renault. And we can print our car sales data frame. So let's run this code. And here we can see that we have renamed our column labels. All right, now we have learned 3 simple ways to change the names of a column or every column. We have using the dictionary, and we can use the dictionary for all labels or for a few labels. We can replace a part of the string in the column string, and we can replace the entire column string with a new list of strings, for example. And now we will show you how to edit the index labels. We type car sales, rename, index equals R and 5. And we set in place to true. And we print our car sales data frame. Here we can see that we use the dictionary approach with rename again, but this time for the index labels. And we make a little change here. So let's run this code. And here we can see that 5R has been replaced with 5. And we can also use the string replace method for the index. So we type car sales index equals car sales index string replace, and this time we replace 5 with 5R. And we can print our car sales data frame. So let's run this code. And here we can see that 5 was replaced by 5R. And we can return the index labels to the standard form using the index attribute. We can type car sales index equals a list of integers, and we can print our car sales data frame. So let's run this code. And here we can see that we have returned the index to its original form, which it had before we ran the first car sales rename index instruction. And here we can see that when we execute this operation, we also cleaned out the sales place index name. So for example, we could copy this code so we could copy this code and we print our car sales data frame. So let's run this code. And here we can see that our index name has been returned. And we can say that changing column, index, and index labels is easy, fast, and straightforward in Pandas. And we should also say that the shown functions are not the only functions to edit data frame structure names. There are some few other functions which can do the same type of operations as well. But these functions are the best, and these functions are currently not listed for depreciation or for advanced development. So, in this video you have learned how to change structure names on your data frame. So you have learned to change column names, index names, and index label names. And this is very useful knowledge. In the next video, you will learn how to properly handle duplicates in a Pandas data frame. And we look forward to see you in the next video.